Hey, it's chime time, and this is Cooking Avenue. Or maybe I should say, I'm snack time, and this is Cooking Avenue, because we are having ourselves a little snack here, as I can show you. Got my little chopsticks and cup of water. I will show you that in a second. So, turns out that these lovely squid rings are super consistently thick. I'm gonna throw that on the plate so as not to infect the rest of the package with you know, shutdown illness. Yeah, so anyway, these rings right here are super thick, and what that tells me is that this has already been cooked. And like I said in the last video, if I wanted to throw these on the pan for another 60 seconds, they would be super chewy because you cook these for an extremely short time, and or you boil them for like a really long time. I've been told by like the old Korean grandma channel that I watch that like squid and octopus are either a 60-second or a 60-minute ordeal. But yeah, actually, it's not just cute old Korean grandmas. There's a lot of cute Korean mom types, and I watch their channels. And it's, you know, that now you know what I do in my free time. Anyway, they cooked the skin. They left the skin on, and it does give it a much more fishy flavor than a lot of Italian recipes that I'm used to. I've always taken the skin off. It's really not that bad with the skin. Like sometimes they have like kind of a jerky, like a squid jerky, but it's like kind of like pulled pork version of pulled squid jerky, and it's good. It smells really bad, really fishy, really sweet. They definitely add some sugar in there. It reminds me of that. It's that fishiness. Fishy. Fishy. So we got our seaweed. Hope you're into the chewing. You know, my friend Barbara turned me on to this thing called like mukbang, which is also Korean, you know, funny enough. And I think ASMR, but I don't know what that stands for. Really hope that it's not a bad word. But anyway, people eat and talk and do whatever. And hopefully we have Barb on the show very soon. She'd be an awesome addition to Cooking Avenue. Anybody will. Anyone who wants to be on the show, you can be on the show. So this is country style fresh kimchi. There's a bunch of different kinds of kimchi, and I realized that when I was reading the labels, some had oysters, and I just wasn't paying attention. Literally, I just bought this because it was the right size, and it looked like there was a little extra in there, and they were all the same price because it wasn't by pound. It's 10 ounces of kimchi, and it smells really great. And I think it's cabbage that's looking like it's spaghetti. Anyway, seaweed, yum yum. No description. I love reading descriptions, you know. Seaweed salad, seaweed, syrup, salt, sesame, mushroom, and vinegar. Looks delicious. like the great American president. I don't use names for stuff, by the way, you know, because YouTube's a funny place. But the way that this particular guy talks, it's the best, or something like that. I don't do the impressions very well, but it's the greatest. It's the greatest of them all. It's the greatest of them all. Anyway, so here's my chopsticks. I bought this at an anime convention. It's a little dirty. Yuck. It's got some cooking oil on it. And yeah, they are reusable and rewashable. Not a lot of people eat with chopsticks. I keep showing you the gross part. But it's got like a little, I'm not sure if it's a geisha, but I'm sure I paid way too much money for this. But it was a convenient case that I'm not used to seeing because I am not Asian. And that is not like me trying to talk Asian. That's just me singing because that's how I usually sing. Here it is. flowers. I'm a huge fan of florals, but let's get into it. I don't hold chopsticks correctly. I've been criticized by my friend Yuko heavily. She's like, why do you hold them that way? Because I do. That's how I learned. You know, it's okay to do whatever you do because you're you. You know, it's acceptable. You know, people make accommodations. But, like, as long as you're not absolutely revolting, never stick the chopsticks directly into a bowl of rice. Don't ask me how I know. I didn't do it. I wasn't asked to leave a restaurant, but I was told that it's very offensive in certain Asian cultures, namely in Japan. But here is what seaweed looks like. And we're gonna make a plate for ourselves. Yum, 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 yum. It's not like the easiest to grab, but because I want this to be on tape, we're just gonna show you how I grab all the seaweed. Now, it's harder to eat, like, the less you got going on. Like, it's cool when you got big clumps, but when you have little clumps, it's harder to grab, you know. Future struggles for future chime time, aka chime time in T-minus a minute. So, boom, we got kimchi time. This is $4.99, by the way. I like to keep the prices on there so I can embarrass myself on tape later. Embarrass future chime time in the future. There we go, kimchi. I'm wearing a white shirt. Not the smoothest idea. Not for eating things that are red. Oh man, huge chunk all at once. It's gonna splash back. Am I gonna get some splashback? Nope. I did good, but as you can see, there's big old kimchi chunks. So it's not always like stringy. It's cabbage, by the way. It's all it is, I think, pickled cabbage. Now, Korean food is like, there's a lot of different types of pickled kimchis or pickled fruit seasonings. Japanese food is much the same way, but when you go to like a Korean barbecue, they usually have like all kinds of sorts of little pickled kimchis that come with the meal. Like if you go to a ramen shop, they'll give you like maybe a little side dish of some pickled vegetables. Sometimes I don't even know what I am eating, but it is always good, and it's usually pink. So time to put some of these guys, and we're gonna just take the hot sauce out and put it directly on the plate, which I'll give you a full visual of once it's all put together. Smells spicy. Looks ketchup-like, but a little bit more transparent than ketchup. Probably less sugary, although the ingredients said that there's corn syrup in there. Not the best, not the healthiest, but is what it is. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use my hands. They did put a little bit of squid tentacle, and right away, because it, like usually when it's uncooked, when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is cooked. Because if it's uncooked, it is like just limp, and it is thin, not thick. It like thickens up, kinda. And this curling means that they blanched it, which is good. That's the way you want to do it. It gets you really good consistency. So I'm gonna put that on the side like a little hors d'oeuvre, little garnish. I'm gonna garnish it with squid tentacle. Ah, skills, grab them all at once. Nah, just kidding. It's not really skills. They do have some small, weird, interesting pieces that I am not used to seeing. What part of the squid is this? What even is this? But we'll shove it in there in the most aesthetic way. I don't know what part of the squid that is. Uh-oh. I know you got to remove the beak. If I hear a crunch, it'll be the beak. Maybe they didn't remove it. But they look like they do a good job. So if I did have music, this is the part where I'd cue it. Whoa. Oh man, that looks so good. Ooh. I am excited for this food. This is like a big ass snack, you know. Pardon my language, but now it's the time for the mukbang people to enjoy me eating. So I'm really not gonna like talk. I'm gonna talk and eat at the same time, as rude as or weird as that is. But here's up for the kimchi. Spicy, nice and crisp. You know, it's got some chunk, thick texture to it, not just like soggy, you know? For real spice. This is like just pure spice. Now I'm just messing with you guys. Oh my god, it's spicy. It is spicy. I saw the chiropractor today, like I mentioned, maybe in the other video or something, which is why I was in K-Town, which is where all the Korean markets are, and a Biko Curry, you know, Paris Baguette, some really good food places over there for my foodie friends. Here is some greens, and greens are healthy. Is seaweed a vegetable? I think it is. Oh, I'm surprised I don't spill the sauce. Yeah, you know, spicy on spicy. This should be tame. It's a bit on the sweet side. I could eat so much of this. I mean, even if isn't nutrient dense, at least it's a green. You could tell if food's healthy for you based on the color, I think. Seaweed's like gotta be a leafy green. It's gotta be a leafy. This is stringy. Maybe it's leafy. Yeah, it could be leafy probably when it's wet or underwater or something. I don't know. I could eat pounds of this stuff. Costco sells huge containers, and I have. One time I just was like abusing that. Abusing it. All right, let's go for the calamari ring. This is like the body. So like, you know, obviously the tentacle is the legs, but the body makes like a cone, and if you cut the cone horizontally, I guess, with the spike pointing upright, you get these rings. People are like, what is that? And we got some spicy going on. Mmm. The sauce has some tang to it. Not spicy like the kimchi. Although I might just take the ring and then just dip it on in the kimchi. Or maybe even grab some kimchi at the same time and combine it, you know. This is one of those things where you want to put the whole thing in your mouth. I can't really see biting a piece of it. I think I did earlier. If you're eating with your hands, maybe. Delicious. And whoa. And of course it did to me. Did it to myself. It's really spicy. Sorry I kicked the table. But now we're back to the spice because we're moving around the plate. It's a bit long, you know, some more mukbang. These things take a while. Oh. I have to test my little skills. That fell into the dip. All right, now we're going into this piece. Dropped it. So I was just thinking in my head, because I can't talk while eating always, that I hope that ASMR isn't like a fetish. Because it's like, oh no, what have you done now, John? What have you gotten yourself into next? You know, like, you've accidentally made a fetish film. That's what fetish films are called, right? They're called fetish films. I don't know if there's a word for that. Okay, I cannot grab the tentacles with, speaking of fetishes, tentacles with the chopsticks. So we are going to dip and then lip. That sauce is super good. Now, it's like in the afternoon, you know, in the evening, like, who knows what time it is, you know, who knows where my phone is? I'm filming on one of my phones. I have 3 phones. I have 3 iPhones. But, you know, I wanted to have the steak tonight, and I've left it out. I'm probably going to have just the steak tonight. No vegetables. Maybe more the seaweed. And then I'm going to use some of the, I'm going to marinate some chicken that I have that thawed out. I thought I was going to have chicken tonight, but I'm going to leave that in the fridge another night. And instead I'm going to marinate that with some barbecue or whatever. Maybe we'll do some extended reel Cooking Avenue. Extended reel, extendo reel. Actually, what am I saying? What did I get myself into? I could totally blame Barb for this. But I was kind of in this route anyway. Especially with that bulgogi episode. I mean, it's all Korean, you know, like, I think I manifested this. So shifting the blame back to me, back to my fault. Serious face. Because that is what I do. I know for a fact that there are people who hate chewing noise. And I don't know if that's part of mukbang, you know, that people like the chewing noise. But it's like visually pleasing to watch someone eat. You know, you guys could use all the physically pleasing things you can get in these dark times. Oh, this one's gonna be good. Yeah, a lot of my homosexual friends like to tell me this. They're like, oh, how would you know until you try? Those little tricksters, they're always out to get you, especially if you're a guy who, however I look, that's what they're after. There's like 2 types of homosexual men. I really hope this isn't offensive. Probably is. But there's the kind that are disappointed that you're not gay, and the type that are gonna try on you anyway. And you know who you are. I know who you are. Oh my gosh. so good. I love these rings. They're a bit big. You know, sometimes I like the small ones. The fried ones are really good. That's a treat. Am I gonna fry stuff myself? I don't know about that. You know, people are always trying to convince me to get an air fryer, and I'm like, another appliance? Another one? No. I live in New York City, tiny little apartments. And even if I did have storage for it, it's like, what if I move? You know, like, minimalism is everything. Well, not everything, but it means a lot. Why, yes, of course. Oh, right for the spices. I'm just punishing myself now. Oh, I almost got splashback. These are huge. Problem with chopsticks, no knives. Can't cut stuff. Everything you got better be cut. You know, otherwise you're just gonna stuff your face. Why, of course. That's almost it. I almost cleaned the plate. Get a lot of fucking dippy sauce. I just cursed again. Shame on me. That's what it looks like. Job well done. Mission complete. That was a meal. First ASMR mukbang. Again, I'm Chime Time. This is Cooking Avenue. Live to love. Chime Time.